Hey folks, welcome back to Only the Best Fancy Novels. My name is Robin, and today I want to talk about The High King's Tomb, the third book in the Green Rider series by Kristen. And this series just continues to surprise me by how good it is. When I started this read along over on the Bookish Drum and Discard, I had like mid expectations at best, low to be honest, because it's on the surface it seems like such a derivative classic fancy kind of thing. But these books have been spectacular so far. Like they have a lot more to recommend them than you'd expect. And when you hear people talking about how much they love this series and so, like, there's really good reason behind it. Anyway, this particular book it's a third in the series. It's my favorite to date, and at the same time, it's almost like a significant departure from the other two. So I'll get into that in a bit. Like, what is this book even about? So in this book, the threat of Mornhaven has been delayed, and but Sacradia's and consequently Carrigan's problems are far from over. The Second Empire is on the move. They have a plan that they're slowly unfolding that it makes no sense as far as we can tell. Carrigan also finds herself in a new position as a Green Rider, where she has to mentor someone for the first time, and that may be more than she can handle. And on top of all of that, there's a royal wedding on the horizon. So, like I said, this book feels like a significant departure from the previous two, in that those two were more classic fancy in terms of like more like classic epic fancy in terms of you have this evil threat in the offing and all that kind of stuff. Like what you would think of when you think of Lord of the Rings. This book, that threat has been put on hold effectively through some of the events in the previous book, and what we get with this one instead is more of a political drama, more of a character driven drama. Like the majority of the book is driven by intrigue, is driven by character dynamics and relationships and political scheming and these kind of things. Like, everyone in this book is plotting. Everyone in this book is up to something, and they're going about doing carrying out their tasks in furtherance of their goals. So, like, this one for fans of like political dramas and character driven stories and so, this I feel like this book would really hit with you. It hit with me, and I've found lately that character driven fancies are something that I've been enjoying more and more. So yeah, so there's that. And what's really cool is that Kristen Britain manages to achieve all of this character drama and all of this scheming and conniving and all of that that's happening through subplots and through small tangents and these kind of things. Because the main arc of this story, like the main plot, you can say, is the Second Empire and what they're up to, and it's really interesting. So this book as a whole, like, this one is one that could potentially hurt your soul, because this book has Carrigan forced more than ever before to really delve into some harsh stuff. Like, she has to deal with the revelations surrounding her family. She has to deal with the way her friendship with Lady Astor has changed. She has to deal with this new mentor relationship that's going less than perfect. And in addition to that, in the story, she's been sent out on an extended trip that's proving that should have been a cakewalk, but of course, this being Carrigan, it's anything but. On top of all of that, she's slowly over the course of this novel, we really see her come to grips that her experience so far has been very far from what the average Green Rider experiences, and she's kind of grappling with the fact that she may never get a normal Green Rider experience, whatever that is. But so it's like a lot of introspection, a lot of character drama, character driven story, that kind of thing. And it really works. It really works, because by this time, this is the third book. Like, you're invested in these characters. You want to see what happens. So it really works well. And like I said, it's just really cool that Kristen Britton's able to achieve all of this through subplots and in a relatively low page count. Like, this book is not long. It's really not that long. All that being said, this book, in addition to like some very cool stuff that happens in here, like, this book very much sets the stage for what comes next. The entire arc of, like, the entire story of this book, it's almost like a side quest to build towards something else. What I really like about it as well is that with with the way that it progresses, it really deepens this world. It deepens one of the stranger aspects of the Sacrarian monarchy that we haven't really that we've kind of touched on, but we haven't really explored as yet. And these kind of things, like it does a good job of expanding the world and kind of expanding the conflict, so that we see that yes, there is going to be this big epic conflict that's going to happen, but that's not going to be the only threat. There's quite a lot more going on here. So in addition to that, like you see the birth of some subplots and some things that it really makes you scratch your head, because you kind of have to wonder how they'll fit into the overall narrative. But at the same time, Kristen does do a good job of making them into that narrative. So there's quite a lot going on in this book as a whole. And of course, there is the inevitable romantic stuff that's kind of been brewing through these two books so far. It's still very much a slow burn. It's still very much a side plot, and not and something that's just happening on the sidelines. It's very secondary to the story. But now we have Carrigan in this situation where she's just really the girl is in a pretty good spot, is all I'll say about that. With the introduction of some new characters in this book and all of that. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this book, honestly. A really fun entry. Like I said, my favorite in the series to date. And this series just continues to delight me. Is really is really the best way to describe it, because like I said, I came into it with low expectations, expecting very a very middling experience at best, but it just reading these books has been such a joy. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the High King's Tomb. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.